Welcome, everyone, to the Gandhāra Sculpture Art Exhibition at the Grand Bao'en Temple Site Museum. Here, you're not just walking into a gallery, you're stepping into a cultural crossroads where Buddhism met ancient Greece and Rome, and sparks flew, artistically speaking, of course. Before we dive into the exhibition, let's talk briefly about Gandhāra, a name that might sound unfamiliar but hides a treasure of cultural history. Gandhāra was an ancient region located in what is now northern Pakistan and eastern Afghanistan, over 2,000 years ago. This area became a vibrant crossroads where Indian Buddhist beliefs encountered Greek and Roman art styles thanks to centuries of trade, travel, and even Alexander the Great's conquests. The result, a striking art style where Eastern spirituality meets Western aesthetics. Picture this, the serene wisdom of the Buddha, but with a Roman nose, Greek curls, deep-set eyes, and sometimes even a beard. Surprised? That's the unique charm of Gandhāra art, unexpected, yet beautifully harmonious. Now, let's take a closer look at one of the star pieces of this exhibition, the seated Buddha. This statue is 1.24 meters tall and dates back over 1,900 years. It's been carefully preserved and was once part of a private Japanese collection. Notice the Buddha's calm, peaceful expression, the slight smile on the lips, the relaxed posture, and the natural flow of the robe's folds. This graceful, dignified appearance embodies the Buddhist concept of serene presence, a calmness that radiates wisdom and compassion. This is the classic style of Gandhāra sculpture, soft yet powerful, elegant yet spiritual. Let's rewind to the early days of Buddhism in ancient India. Back then, guess what? There were no Buddha statues. That's right, no serene face, no lotus pose, no flowing robes. Instead, the Buddha was represented by symbols, a Bodhi tree, a wheel, or a stupa. Imagine trying to explain enlightenment with emojis. That's basically what they did. Meanwhile, in China, the Western Han and early Eastern Han periods, Buddhism hadn't officially arrived yet. Instead, the Chinese were busy exploring Taoism, immortals, and mystical potions. No Buddha, no Bodhi, just lots of people chasing longevity. Thanks to a fusion of Greek art and Indian spirituality, we got the first human-like images of the Buddha, complete with deep-set eyes, high-bridged nose, flowing Greco-Roman robes, and those iconic, wavy locks, yes, ancient hair goals. This was art history's version of a celebrity debut. Around the same time in China, Buddhism was making its grand entrance. According to tradition, Emperor Ming of Han dreamed of a golden figure flying through the sky, and sent envoys west, resulting in the so-called White Horse Mission around 67 CE. Next, we arrive at the Standing Bodhisattva. This piece stands 81 centimeters tall, and what a figure it is. Look at the details, the upright posture, the luxurious decorations. On his head, you'll see a turban with two lion heads carved on it. This was a symbol of nobility in ancient India, often worn by the Kshatriya warrior class. Lions represent strength and royalty. Notice the lion-shaped necklace, the bracelets, and even the sandals. Doesn't he look like a prince? That's intentional. Bodhisattvas are enlightened beings who choose to stay in the world to help others. This princely look reflects their noble mission, not kings by title, but rulers by compassion. As you explore the exhibition, don't miss these other gems. The birth of the Buddha's nirvana, parinirvana, the Pure Land paradise scene. All of these artworks showcase the signature Gandhāra-style realistic human features, sculpted depth, and emotive faces. You might even notice a few Buddhas with curly beards and deep eye sockets, very different from traditional Chinese or Indian images of the Buddha. As we enter the 3rd to 6th centuries, Buddhist imagery really takes off, in both India and China. In India, Gandhara style spreads through Central Asia like Kucha and Khotan, while native Indian schools like Mathura and later the Gupta style introduce a softer, more spiritual look. Think thin robes, peaceful faces, and gentle smiles. Meanwhile, in China, during the Three Kingdoms and Western Jin, Buddhist imagery is still rare, sometimes found in tombs as decorations, like bronze mirrors with tiny Buddha figures. But things change fast during the Eastern Jin and Northern Southern dynasties. In the north, the Wingang caves and Mughal grottos bloom with colossal Buddhas and Central Asian flair, big eyes, thick robes, serious vibes. But as the Northern Wei dynasty synthesizes, so do their Buddhas. They become slimmer, more elegant, more un-Confucian scholar with divine wisdom. In the south, literati like Jukazi and Daikui get involved in statue design. The results, sculptures that are more poetic, flowing, almost like a Buddha who studied ballet. This era blends Buddhism with Chinese metaphysics, creating statues not just with form, but with spirit. By the time we reach the Sui and Tang dynasties, Buddhist art in China has truly found its own rhythm. No more imitation, no more awkward blending. The statues are round-faced, commode, and unmistakably Chinese-like the Luoyang Longmen Grotto's Vairocana Buddha, completed around 672 CE. It's like watching a tradition come home. Fast forward through Song, Yuan Ming, and Qing Buddhist imagery keeps evolving. In the Song and Yuan, statues become more realistic and human, reflecting daily life and emotion. Ming and Qing periods bring in elements of Tibetan Buddhism, especially during the Qing, with places like Yonghai Temple in Beijing showcasing ornate multi-ethnic styles. So, what did we learn? That Buddhist art went from no images at all to Greco-Indian fusion to a distinct Chinese aesthetic across 2,000 years. Countless dynasties, and many artistic mood swings. What started with silence and symbolism became a global gallery of spiritual imagination, a visual language that speaks across cultures and time. And that, my friends, is the magic of Buddhist imagery. Traveling with me through centuries of statues, may your heart be as peaceful as a meditating Buddha, and your camera roll twice as full. A fascinating journey, bridging over 1,000 years and thousands of miles, a symbolic 1,000-year gaze between Buddha Shakyamuni and the legendary monk Xuanzang. Though separated by roughly 11 centuries, Buddha lived around 500 BCE, and Xuanzang lived in the 7th century CE. Either stories are deeply connected. Xuanzang set out on his epic westward journey between 629 and 645 CE, traveling thousands of miles from China to India. He stood humbly before the very places where Buddha taught, the sacred Bodhi tree at Bodh Gaya, the deer park where Buddha gave his first sermon, and the Jetavana monastery. Imagine Xuanzang's tears of devotion as he saw these holy sites for himself. He didn't return empty-handed. Xuanzang brought back over 650 Buddhist scriptures, many in Sanskrit, the original language of Buddha's teachings, filling a massive gap in Chinese Buddhism and solidifying the spiritual lineage. At the famed Nalanda University, the ancient Buddhist learning center where Buddha once walked and where Xuanzang studied for 5 years, this historical meeting point became a powerful symbol of their dialogue across centuries. Buddha, as the enlightened original lamp, revealed the path to awakening. Xuanzang, the dedicated lamp-bearer, journeyed far to carry that light eastward, translating scriptures and spreading the Dharma to famous pagodas in Shangan, now Xuan, reflect this spiritual connection. The giant Wild Goose Pagoda, built by Xuanzang to house the scriptures he brought, and the nearby small Wild Goose Pagoda, built by another monk, continuing this mission. These towers stand just 3 kilometers apart, like two old friends in silent conversation. Look to the magnificent Dunhuang murals, where Xuanzang is depicted in scenes alongside Buddha, or the mystical Mount Sumeru, hinting at their spiritual communion. In literature, Journey to the West reimagines Xuanzang as Tang monk as Buddha's earthly representative, while his companions, like the mischievous Monkey King Wukong, symbolize inner struggles on the path to enlightenment. The Grand Bao'en Temple Museum is not just a monument, it is a memory carved in stone, fired in glaze, and sealed in gold. It has stood for devotion, resilience, and the enduring power of cultural fusion, from the revered Buddha relics and the legendary glazed pagoda, to the Gandhāra masterpieces, bridging civilizations. Each piece tells a story of reverence, loss, and rebirth.